What's up, my allies? My name is Zacharias, and this is Thank You Universe. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I figured since Halloween and Samhain are coming up in the very near future, we talk about something a little spooky. So what could possibly be scarier than the scary movies you're watching and the ghosts and ghoulies that keep you up at night? How about a dark night of the soul and doing your shadow work and dealing with those deep-seated emotions and your existential crisis? Yeah, that's really scary. Like, Frankenstein can take a backseat to that. Doing your emotional work is something that a lot of people are very afraid of. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about the dark night of the soul and what we can do about it and what's on the other side. Because there's good news. It's not all bad. So go ahead and watch this video, and we will learn about the dark night of the soul. So, if you don't know, you might be wondering, what is a dark night of the soul? Well, a dark night of the soul is something that is experienced by individuals on their mystic path or their spiritual path. It is this idea that everyone on their journey, on their magical journey in esoteric traditions, will experience a dark night of the soul, which is this time where nothing seems to be working out. Like, your manifestations aren't working, whatever magic you practice, whatever spirituality you practice, nothing is working, and there's no signs or synchronicities from the universe. Like, normally if you see encouraging signs that you get from the universe, it's like, hey, good job, you're on the right path, keep going. No. The dark night of the soul is no mercy, it's just you, so buckle up, because it can be very, very challenging. And one of the reasons it's very challenging is because you have no external motivation whatsoever. You're not getting those signs from the universe that are telling you, okay, things are going to work out, it's going to be all right. No, it is a dark night, the blackest night, and there is no light to be seen, and you're just sitting there wondering, what's going on? Did I anger the gods? Did I upset the universe? I feel abandoned. It's this feeling of abandonment, and you can kind of relate it to the Christian tradition when Christ goes through his suffering for humanity and he feels abandoned and he says, "My Father, why have you forsaken me?" Even if you're not Christian or you don't like the Bible or whatever, it's still a good metaphor for exactly what that is. You feel like you have been abandoned by the universe or your God or whatever it is that you believe in, and your magic is not helping you. And during this dark night of the soul, it may not be just one night. That would be pretty nice, because then you know it's over after that. But usually it's a period of your life. So the dark night of the soul represents a period of your life that feels like a really dark night, metaphorically. And you can feel very depressed and very alone and very sad during this time, because nothing seems to be working out, and you're wondering, is it even worth it? Is this life that I'm trying to live even worth it? Is all my meditation worth it? Is my spiritual practice worth it? Are my prayers working out? Is any of this going to be okay? But it's actually a good sign, and this might be hard to do when you're going through a dark night of the soul and nothing seems to be working out, but you can take hope when you have a dark night of the soul, because it means you are on your path and you are going somewhere. Because oftentimes the darkest night comes before the dawn, right? So it's the idea of the calm before the storm. People think of the calm before the storm, right? But it's also the other way. There's the storm before the calm. So after all of this dark night of the soul, this hellish experience you're going through, know that on the other side there will be peace, and you will really have a greater understanding of yourself, and you will have learned something about yourself. Because that is why we have a dark night of the soul, in my opinion. It is an experience that we have that we need to learn, and an experience we can grow from. A lot of people think that the universe is testing them or God is testing them, and personally, I don't really like the idea or believe in the idea that we're being tested. It's just like, this whole experience is for us, so it's not like we're being tested, like the universe is like, okay, you have to go through this challenge, and then if you pass, then you'll have a great life. No, it's part of the journey. It's part of the experience. So it's not a test. It's a lesson. So you have to remember that this is a learning experience. And the real learning and the real challenge of this experience is learning how strong we really are and how much we value the things that we are pursuing in our life. So it really makes us ask, is this worth it? Is this life that I'm trying to build worth it? Is my spiritual practice worth it when everything seems to be going wrong, when there is no external validation or motivation for my practice? Like, you don't seem to be getting any better in your spiritual practice and your manifestations aren't working, and it just seems like you're struggling for no reason. And then you have to ask yourself, do I even enjoy the process of this? Do I enjoy the act of improving myself? Do I enjoy my life? Am I going to be okay with this? Am I going to be okay trying to create this experience even when there is no sign that things are going to be okay? And you really learn to trust yourself and to actually go inward instead of outward when you're going through struggles, because you're the only one you've got during this dark night of the soul. You're not seeing any good signs, and you feel like it's just you. You don't feel connected to the divine or any deities you work with or your ancestors or whatever it may be. And so you go inwards and you see, what do I really value? What do I want to build? Can I rely on myself? Is this worth it if it's just me? Because a lot of times people are very extrinsically motivated. They get their motivation from the outside, in the things that they get, in the things that they can do, in the things that they accomplish, and the rewards and the benefit and the signs from the universe, and feeling like the universe loves you, right? And so you learn to be your own motivation, and this strengthens your vibration, because as far as magic and manifestation and the things that I talk about in a lot of my other videos, if you want to manifest a certain life or a certain outcome, you need to be in the vibration of that. And when you're able to stay in your vibration and continue going towards your goals and your authentic desires, even when all signs are not going well and it looks like things aren't going to work out, if you stay in your vibration, that strengthens your vibration, your ability to remain grounded through negative experiences or a dark night of the soul where things just aren't going your way. And when you're able to maintain that vibration, it shows you, okay, I can do this, even if I'm completely abandoned and it's just me versus reality, me versus the universe. I can handle it. But it isn't actually you versus the universe. You've actually manifested this experience for yourself on your spiritual awakening path, because there are some things that you need to come to terms with. The other side of this dark night of the soul is the shadow work and the realizations that you come to, because you learn some things about yourself that you may have been avoiding. So there might be some emotional issues, some spiritual issues that you need to work through that you have not confronted yet, because you've just been going along on your path and things have been, maybe a little rocky, but they've been going steadily. When this dark night of the soul creates an abrupt stop to all of the improvement and progress that you're going through, then you really have to address the specific issues that you've been putting on the back burner, because they're probably the hardest emotional issues you have to deal with. And so you don't deal with them because we're humans and we like to choose the simplest path, and we don't like to look at those scary shadows that are the big emotional woundings that we've had. But it's gonna be okay, because you can handle this. You've got this. You are the universe itself, and you have that spark of creation in you, and you're just learning how to deal with the emotional woundings that you've had and the experiences that you've had. So you really need to do your deep shadow work, and I can't say specifically what that will be for you, because everyone has their own life journey and their own experiences, but I can tell you what it was like for me on my darkest dark night of the soul experience. And for me, that was really trying to come to terms with the fact of meaning versus meaninglessness. Like, I was having a big existential crisis in the way of, like, what is the point of reality? Is there a point at all? If I'm gonna die one day and it's possible that everything that I believe is not true and I might not exist in any form or fashion someday in the future. And it was a really challenging time for me, like, probably the most challenging time of my life I've experienced thus far. But what I learned from it is that life has the meaning that you make of it. And a lot of times people feel like life is meaningless and they've been hurt and they have had these emotional woundings and they just want someone to hold them and tell them it's all gonna be okay and you're beautiful and you don't have to worry about a thing because life is awesome. But you don't feel that way, and so you have to learn that life has the meaning that you give it, and you have to decide to actually give it that meaning and decide that you want to be here in this life and stick around. Because so many people talk about how their life sucks, or they hate life, or they don't want to live it, and they wish it was different. But we are the creators of our reality, and we are the ones who give our lives purpose. And so, for me, in my dark night of the soul, I had to realize that, this universe is crazy, this life is pretty wild, and I don't know if anything I believe is real. The only thing that I even know is real is my own conscious experience. And even then, you can question that a little bit. But life has the meaning that you give it, and you have to choose to give it your own meaning and create the reality that you want to see and keep going, even if you're having a dark night of the soul and even if you are in the darkest blackness. Because in the darkest darkness, the faintest lights can be seen, and we can come to this clarity and observe these truths that we needed to learn about ourselves when everything is dark and there's no more distractions, and you just have to really confront those emotional woundings and those fears that you have. It can be challenging, but remember, if you're going through a dark night of the soul right now, I love you, you've got this, you're awesome. And it's going to be okay on the other side. Remember, after the storm comes the calm again. There's a calm before the storm, there's a storm, and then there's a calm after the storm. So you're just going through the storm right now, and it's going to be challenging, and it's going to blow you around like a vicious hurricane wind a bit, but you will survive, and you'll be stronger for it, and you can learn to be grateful for it. And once you can get back into the attitude of gratitude after the dark night of the soul, that's when you know you've made it through, because it's really hard to be grateful when experiencing a dark night of the soul. But if you can be grateful for the challenges and the experiences that you've had and say, okay, life can be challenging, but I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for the lessons that I've learned, and I'm grateful that I can keep going and building the life that I desire, because this is a really crazy experience, just being alive, just existing, and being able to manifest your reality and become more conscious of the fact that you are in control of your reality and you create your experiences and you can make it into whatever it is you desire. Just take care of yourself and take care of your emotional needs and keep going. No matter what, keep going. Know that even if you feel abandoned and no one's in your corner, it's gonna be okay. I mean, you can watch this video as many times as you want, but ultimately, it's gotta be you that tells yourself to keep going. And a lot of people might just be like, oh yeah, keep going, everyone knows that, but really, being able to tell yourself to keep going through harsh experiences is a very important skill to have. And you have to learn how to do that, and the Dark Night of the Soul is one of the things that teaches you to do just that. So, I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, please go ahead and make sure to like it, and then unlike it, and like it again even harder. And please subscribe to the channel if you've not yet become a member of the Thank You Universe family, so you can watch some more videos with us. And as always, much love to all of my allies out there. I'll be seeing all of you on the next video. Bye!